Welcome back, guys. And this one, we're going to play a game. So now, I have 4 Nigerian players. And we're going to, I would like to hear your own ranking. I'll say mine, and Uche will say his own as well.
If I didn't even know where, I'll say we should do a ballot on who goes first.
Okay, so the players are Mikel, Yakubu, Kanu, and Okocha. So you just rank like who's your number 1. For me, I'll go with, in the EPL rather, in the Premier League. So guys, please do not forget to like and subscribe. So my number 1, I'll say Yakubu. And I think he didn't really, Yakubu, what he did in Everton, he was the main guy. Did I really watch him when he was in Portsmouth? I didn't really watch him when he was in Portsmouth, but when you hear, who will I call? Is it Redknapp? Redknapp was his manager.
Yeah,
Redknapp was his manager. Speak about how good he was. And also, I think he's one striker that's in Nigeria. Like African striker in the Premier League. If you take away Drogba, I think Yakubu is in that category. You can say Yakubu is in that category for African strikers. I'm trying to think of Kalu, Obafemi Martins. I don't think.
Out night.
Yeah, I don't think anyone, even numbers and everything, comes close to like Yakubu. So for me, Yakubu Ayegbemi, my number 1. My number 2, I'll be going with Kanu Papilo. He didn't really play much, but what he did in Portsmouth, going there to win that FA Cup, the impact he had, even in that Arsenal team, he had impact as well. And Kanu influence too. He transferred like even to Nigerians, like he brought eyes on that Premier League per se. But Kanu was a very good player in the Premier League. And like I said, what he did in Portsmouth, because I know when he left, he won the FA Cup there in Portsmouth. In the Premier League, Yakubu didn't win any. I didn't think he won any major trophy. No FA Cup, no Premier League. I think Kanu was among the Invisibles now. He won the Premier League with them. He won FA Cup too with Arsenal as well. So Kanu's my number 2. My number 3, I'll be going with Mikel. Now, Mikel, I remember when Man United were going for him, and it was one of the biggest news on how he went to Manchester United, and I think he was more of a attacking CM also, right? Like attacking more. But when he came to Chelsea, his style of play changed, and he did the job to the best of his ability. Let me even tell you something. Do you know Mikel only scored 1 Premier League goal in his time in the Premier League?
Exactly.
But that's just due to the job he had to do. The role he was playing. But Mikel, Champions League. I think he has 2 or 3 Premier League.
He won Europa too.
He won Europa. Almost every major trophy. Like, I think he's the most decorated.
That's why I was waiting for you. Because I was going to say, using your own analogy now, if we are looking at the most successful Nigerian in the EPL, shouldn't we be looking at Mikel, looking at all the medals he has? Anyway,
but then again, I would say, because if Yakubu was in that Chelsea team, he will win trophies.
Sadly,
he wasn't. Same we can say for JJ. Who didn't come to Manchester United because of I can't really remember why.
But Mikel is decorated. Like, he has won all major trophies and everything. But I still feel I'll still put Yakubu and Kanu ahead of Mikel. Okay. And my number 4 is JJ Okocha. And JJ Okocha, I just think it was just, he had good spells, good moments, but when you compare to these other guys, he's a very good player, no doubt. I think he even said he came into the Premier League towards like late in his career, like maybe when he still had like few more years in football, like 3-4 more years, like to play top football. So, but I don't think JJ had that impact like the Yakubu or the Kanu, and in Bolton he did well. Like that's saying now, so good.
Bolton he played for.
Hull City as well.
Hull City. Oh, he went to Hull.
That's saying so good. They named it twice. It was JJ. Like when you talk about the eye tests for JJ Okocha, I think in that his position they are very. It's very hard to replace. But then again, trophies and the numbers, he doesn't. He didn't hit it for me. So JJ is my number 4.
Okay.
So let me start with you, Ed. Who's your
I
number
think
1?
I think it's a very tricky conversation. But first, I'd like to tackle it just off of what you said,
Yeah.
and off of some of our previous episodes as well, things that we've also mentioned, and how we grade players. And it's interesting because it's interesting to see you take this route now when we have come to ranking players. I, on the other hand, I've decided to rank players based off of what their career achievement says to me. Hold on.
Okay.
So now, if we are looking at players off of that, if I was to rank the Nigerians who have played in the EPL,
We have so many.
as per based on the names you've mentioned, JJ,
Kanu,
Yakubu, Kanu, and Mikel, Mikel. My number 4 will be Yakubu Aigbeni. Yakubu was a very prolific striker, no doubt. He demolished a lot of teams. He missed some sitters as well. But you can't take it away that he was always the bully that would push with his big stature, push players off.
He's a proper EPL kind of striker,
and get those goals. And trust me, Harry Redknapp loved him, no doubt. He did great stuff.
David Moyes too. He played for David Moyes.
But based off of the things he did, I could still say with Middlesbrough at the time. Looking back, we cannot really say, oh, this is what he was able to achieve at that point, right? But I really enjoyed watching him then. Number 3, I would say JJ Okocha.
Okay.
JJ Okocha because...
That's your number 2.
Number 3.
Okay, number 3, yeah.
Because he was a beauty to watch.
Yeah.
Even in the Premier League, defenders, midfielders were scared to approach him because you are not sure what Okocha would do.
Yeah,
he had that smile when he was doing mesmerizing players. It was beautiful to watch, and Nigerians loved watching him. And I also think he brought a lot of attention to Bolton and even to Hull City when he moved, just because of that his move to Bolton. And I think a lot of Africans and Nigerians in particular started watching the EPL because of JJ and because of Kanu Nwankwo. On that note, sadly, as well, we can't really say he got a lot of medals.
Yeah, because the team was
He was playing for pretty much a team that was always mid-table team.
Yeah.
You get. And then
I think he even came
my
towards late.
number 2 is drum roll. Kanu Nwankwo. Yeah. Papilo was great. He was slick.
Yeah.
He did a lot of things for Arsenal. I remember a lot of Arsenals joining Arsenal just because of Kanu Nwankwo. But I still think that when you look at my number 1, John Obi Mikel, the controversy.
Do you think Mikel is very underrated?
I think Mikel had a lot of potential that he actually did not actualize. A part of me still blames Mourinho for that as well. Because I think
he plays different when he plays for
Mourinho changed Mikel from the initial Obi Mikel that we saw that played in the under 23, under 73, under 17, under 23 team as well. Mikel was amazing. The same Mikel we're talking about came second to Messi at the time.
Yeah.
That's the Obi Mikel that we all knew. But be that as it may, I know you said you scored one goal in the EPL.
No, I'm not even using that against him because I know he was doing the job.
He is the most decorated Nigerian player in the EPL.
But my problem now is for that part now, your number 1 is because like trophies, if the JT and the Drogba were not there, Mikel will not win those trophies. And also, if Mikel was not there too, the JTs and the rest, like it's more of a team.
I understand.
More of a teamwork.
But it doesn't change that when you walk into his trophy cabinet, you are going to see all these things.
True.
That's life, man.
That's actually life.
So your number 1 for you, Mikel.
Mikel Obi.
because he's the most decorated. Me, my number one, I would just say Yakubu Ayegbe because when you take away Drogba in terms of African strikers, I think he's the second. Like, he's the second. We take away Drogba, he's the second. And if you had gone to maybe top team, let's say the Liverpool in that time, or maybe Arsenal, he could have maybe gotten one major trophy.
Yeah, and I also think that the Mikel also brought a lot of publicity to the Chelsea team.
Yes,
in Nigeria.
Yeah, in Nigeria.
And if you look at post Kanu and JJ Okocha's era, the next person that brought so much followership to the team, especially to the people in the east in Nigeria, eastern part of Nigeria, you find that a lot of them immediately swarmed into Chelsea. Because of John Obi Mikel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, baby. Uche, let's do your own.
Yeah, it's literally viewpoint. You guys said almost everything that actually very correct. That's sometimes not good. That's why it's not necessarily great speaking last. Like everybody would have said everything that you ought to say, but I mean, these are all fantastic Nigerian players. But it's good that you're mentioning these ones. But to remind you, we have Daniel Amokachi,
the Bull.
who plays for Everton.
Yeah,
also
yes.
played for, I think, Ipswich and Everton, one of them.
But
Famously subbed himself onto a game and scored 4 goals. But I mean, just
Yakubu.
But I mean, I'm just trying to say, my number one pick, I'm not doing top 4. My number one pick would be Mikel because of his cabinet.
His trophy cabinet.
Not like he was a fantastic, if you look at impact play, but he was a team player for his club. Not to say that if he didn't join Manchester United, he wouldn't have won the Champions League. He would have, actually, much earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. True, because at that time, Manchester United
Exactly,
were
but
good.
I've gotten a treble.
He would have gotten a treble.
Very true.
Exactly, but he didn't get the treble.
But he still won
He
Champions
still won the
League.
Champions League, but much later. Yes, because of him, a whole lot of Chelsea, in fact, a whole lot of fans, and like what we say, it's like people getting tired of Arsenal, this thing. Many Arsenal fans went to Chelsea.
I think Chelsea were very strategic in terms of their
Yeah.
marketing for that African market
Yeah.
at that time because they just picked the key Drogba, Kanu, SCN, Nigeria. So that thing just
It took them
Man
a
City.
whole lot.
So
You see what
but
they
I
did.
don't also think it's just that. I also think it's also a testament to the coach, Jose Mourinho.
Mourinho. Yeah, that's why I
loves
loved African
African
players.
players.
Very true.
He
He
says
believed in them.
in all his podcasts, he says he calls SN his son.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's showing that these are all good players. But I'm saying, I mean,
Number one for you.
that was Mikel. Mikel, based on his trophy cabinet,
Yeah.
because we're trying to look about successful Africans. Then if you then move on to
Number two.
number 2, my number 2 would definitely be Kanu because he
Okay.
was also very successful.
Uh-huh.
You could see that in his own team, he also was an impact player. He wasn't necessarily starting, but whenever he came up,
He delivered.
It looked as if they were not missing up any striker.
Yeah.
He was very, 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 very great. And it didn't stop his form, though he was coming from the bench. When he came to Nigeria, he still performed. Performed very well. And the same thing with Mikel. You know, he doesn't necessarily need to play so well at Chelsea, but when he came to Nigeria, he played so well. And that's why when I listen to his own podcast, big ups to you, Obi podcast. It's great. He tells you how much flair you should be. If you want to play for Africa, play for Africa. Don't come and play now and then tomorrow you say, because they're not giving you chances, then you now rush to come and play for us. But anyways, my number 3 would be JJ Okocha because I love JJ Okocha. JJ Okocha would have been a perfect one
Yeah.
if he had decided to go to a big club.
Big club.
But for some reason, I don't know why he loved Bolton so much that he stayed in Bolton for so long. Then eventually went to Hull and all. But most times, that's what players do. They know why they go to certain players. But he would have been a perfect player if he had gone to a bigger club.
Yeah.
He would have won more trophies.
Unpopular
we can never
opinion.
tell.
Yeah.
Do you think he would have been able to play in a big club, considering the fact that most times, especially in you know how Okocha was actually annoying?
Yeah. To pass the ball.
do you think-
he wants to dribble?
That discipline of being able to just hold the ball, pass it, and not lose the ball and start smiling and doing all of those things.
In that era,
You know,
Fergie will not tolerate that now. That
No,
one,
I hold on. I don't believe so. I think Fergie, he knows how to manage people. Remember when Ronaldo eventually became a goal machine? Before, I mean, he was becoming a goal machine at Manchester United from the flanks. when he went to Madrid was a different beast altogether. But I'm saying there are moments where he could punish Ronaldo for certain things, but he wouldn't. He managed Ronaldo.
But do you think Ferguson pruned Ronaldo?
I think so.
Good. Because the Ronaldo that played against Manchester United as Sporting and the Ronaldo that eventually started playing
For Manchester United.
United,
Are two different
you could
Ronaldos.
see the difference.
Was disciplined.
The person that played against United was largely a
Entertainer.
master dribbler. He was just dribbling, entertaining himself with pretty much no
End
precision.
result, no end result.
No end result.
But at United, it was like, okay, beat one, pass
Pass
the ball,
ball,
run for
and you
space, things like that.
So maybe Fergie would have done the same to Okocha.
Exactly what my point.
Yeah.
But he
Or
needed to
Okocha
have
would
gone to a big team.
frustrated Ferguson.
Well, in most cases, right? Once you're a player,
Yeah.
it's a give and give and take thing. If he was delivering, Fergie would definitely have put him under his wings.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that, I mean, JJ should have. JJ, do you remember when Chelsea and Barca played 2004, 2005? A bit 2006, I'm not sure.
Chelsea Barca.
Yeah, at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, Stamford Bridge. The one with Ronaldinho.
Thank you. That he did his leg like this to John Terry and they throw the
I
ball.
remember that game.
Do you know how many times Ronaldinho missed chances in that particular game? But he had one moment
And he took
and he
it.
delivered. That's what I felt JJ was capable of doing. Yes, leave all the dribbles and
and he had that
he could do it the whole lot.
long range
shots.
Because
We
no,
needed him because Paul
yeah.
Scholes was actually, we didn't want, at some point, we needed to replace Paul Scholes or at least have someone on the bench that comes.
yeah.
It would have been a tussle between him and Paul
Paul
Scholes.
Scholes.
Because he would have been a fantastic addition to the club. But who knows what the negotiation was. Maybe it was like, come and be a rotation player. Who knows?
So,
Maybe they didn't want to play. Then obviously my last will be Yakubu. Obviously, you already know.
Wait, this Yakubu own, guys.
I'm not saying that Yakubu is
No,
a bad
yeah,
player.
but-
But I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah.
based on
the players you
Based
put
on the
on
players.
the
I
table.
want to say something. Based on the players in the table. Because I want to say something.
Yeah.
After Drogba, for African, like,
We agree.
is Yakubu.
we're not saying that he's not a perfect nine. We're using your same analogy, saying you asked us who will be the best African, the top African Nigerian African
In the
player.
Premier League, you should rank it.
These are
Other people in the comment section will have their own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some people will even say Daniel Amokachi. People who
No,
watch
based on this
England
list,
at the time.
Yeah.
I'm saying. So people will even put in Daniel Amokachi there. Some people will even put in the new guys coming up. You know, but the truth is, these people are. Mikel is the most
Because
decorated.
Mikel is
in
the most
Nigeria.
decorated.
Yeah. Then you move on to Kanu. Kanu did Invisible, won the EPL, won FA Cup, and he doesn't have just one FA Cup. with one team.
Okocha passes the eye test in terms of he's very good at
He's a
his
proper
dribbling,
entertainer. Yeah,
his passing,
but he just didn't play for a big team.
But in terms of trophies, it wasn't really.
Same thing for
there.
Ayegbeni. If he had played for Chelsea,
I mean, passes the eye test, but in terms
even
of
if
trophy-
Ayegbeni didn't even play for Chelsea, maybe he played for Arsenal or played for a bigger club. My point is, the same PR you're talking about would have been there for him. He would have scored more goals. He wouldn't have to struggle to score goals.
Yes.
They would have just been tap-ins. Crossbar. Ayegbeni was a good tap-in. Inside that, it's here. It was fantastic.
I think I was
So-
not-
But
I
that's
was
what it is.
looking- I went to go and look at his resume, just
Who?
Yakubu, and I can see one UEFA Cup runner-up with Middlesbrough, obviously, and then 4-time UEFA Cup participant, 1-time Europa League participant with Everton, and that's it.
Yeah, but as like in terms of goals, that's what.
But that's the thing, right?
I know the trophies
But
are not
when
there.
you put
Okay,
him-
let me let me give you.
When
let
you
me-
put
will
him
will
against these guys you
wait,
have mentioned,
will you now slander Harry Kane? Because Harry Kane does not have.
you know the thing.
trophies.
Let me tell you the truth. Let me
No,
tell you the
Harry
truth.
Kane doesn't even have trophies, but he has goals.
Ayegbemi had goals now.
No, it's not compared to
Harry
to,
Kane.
to Harry Kane.
Yeah,
So
but I'm just
history might be kind to
Harry
Harry
Kane.
Kane,
Kane.
because of the goals he has.
scored. Yeah.
But guess what? If you have a couple of Haalands that keep banging these goals,
They'll say
in
we'll
a
overtake
couple of
his- yeah.
years,
They'll take over
you
his
will not
spots.
see
Kane
Harry
there.
Kane again on the scale, and that's the end of
And
Harry
he did
Kane,
not
bro.
win EPL to even back his claim.
So let's start again. You're number one again.
Mikel.
Say it.
Kanu,
Uh-huh.
JJ, Ayegbeni.
I mean, for me, it was Yakubu, Kanu, Mikel.
No, you said Mikel second, Kanu third, and then
No, I said Kanu.
Kanu second.
I said Kanu second,
Mikel third.
then Mikel third, and
JJ
JJ fourth. And you, that
I've said Mikel first,
Uh-huh.
Kanu Nwankwo second,
Uh-huh.
JJ Okocha
Same as me.
third, and Yakubu.
All right, and that's it for all, guys. Let us know in the comment section your own ranking. Please do not forget to like, do not forget to subscribe, and I want to say thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, thank you for having
And
us.
I'll see you guys in the next one.
Let's go.
Peace.
Thank you.